Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to make a modification to the LQ9 engine because the stock oil pan is not going to work. Hey, good to see you guys again. Thanks for hanging out with me. We're going to make a change to the engine before we put it into the frame on the 51 pickup because the oil pan was dragging like, I don't know, the last couple, well, let's see. About a month ago, I made a video and showed the distance from the bottom of the oil pan to the surface of the road, and it is awfully close. It hangs down below the cross member on the front end. So that's a bad thing. So what I'm going to do is swap out the stock oil pan and put in a low profile pan, which is a total of 6 inches. I think it's 3-inch difference in hang down. So we should bring the bottom of the oil pan up 3 inches. Here's the oil pan I got from Speedway, and it's I guess it's a Speedway brand. And it is a shallow but high capacity oil pan. It's described as holding 7 quarts. So we're gonna swap out the stock pan for this one, and this one has some baffles in it. There's baffles on all 4 sides here, and here. And that will keep the oil in the well at the pickup tube location. So I got this about a month ago, and the pickup tube that mates with this was backordered, and it finally came in. So what we're going to do is swap out the old pan and the old pickup, and put in this new setup. So let's see how this works. First of all, we've got to make some room. So I was working on making these interior door panels. I got those roughly cut out, but we're going to move this stuff out of the way, and we'll wheel over the engine and get our engine hoist set up. Come on now. This furniture movers work very well. Rolling around this engine. We'll put it on the heavy side. Alright, make one over here. So what we'll do is hang the engine on the hoist and lift it up a couple feet and start undoing the old oil pan. Let's make a little bit more room here. Spin this around. Still have to clean up the top of that transmission. I don't know why I didn't do that before I started to rebuild it. That was a mistake, but it's all fine. All right, let's get this engine hoist. Chain is all twisted, and now I gotta fight it. I'm gonna drop it and straighten this chain. So I didn't fill any oil with transmission fluid in, so it should be dry there. I hope when we put the new pan on, we can still use this setup using this furniture dolly. If not, I'll have to figure something out. I'm not going to be using the stock sensor that's on the oil pan, so that gets deleted from the harness, and I hope that I can still use this gasket from it's a brand new gasket that I put on it. I'm hoping that's going to work out. Maybe I'll have to put some RTV around it just to make sure that it seals. So let me work on getting these bolts out, and we'll see what kind of mess we're in. I got all the 10mm bolts out, and I've got one more bolt that attaches the bell housing to the oil pan, which is really kind of nice. There's a couple extra long bolts that go from the lowest side of the oil pan up into the block, and that adds a lot of strength. But on the new oil pan, we don't have that, unfortunately. But that's okay. The advantages are there to have the low profile pan. Oh, there's still something holding this up. I thought that I had everything off. Maybe one bolt in the front. And this. Oh, yep, I did. There's still one here. One 10mm. I don't want to get my head under this engine, and I don't want my arms under here, because I don't trust this place. So if this thing falls, I think I'm all the way of everything. And the back end is dropping. There we go. Okay. Well, I guess I did put a little bit of oil in there, and it's from, well, I guess installing the cam and the crank. Just a tiny bit of oil. Alright, so let me show you the difference in this profile. One nice advantage of the low profile is it's 7 quarts. And I don't remember what I read. I'm not sure how many on with a stock. It could have been 6 quarts. I don't know. So let me just show you this. Okay. Here's the difference height-wise. It's about 3 inches. I got this oil cooler block off plate. I bought it and I didn't have to. I didn't realize I was going to swap over to this low profile pan. One difference is in the front of the new pan is it just has bolts going into the flange, right, for the regular oil pan flange. On the stock, it has those plus one long one here and one that goes into the bell housing. So that kind of adds strength to the, so that between the transmission and the engine don't torque too much. But, this is gonna work fine. It's not gonna be a high horsepower engine. I'd like to get 450 out of it. That would be nice, but we'll see. So the difference again is this pickup tube. This is the low profile, and I still have this stock one on the engine. So I've got to unbolt that and hopefully get these O-rings inserted nicely, because that at the oil pump is in the front of the engine, where that O-ring gets inserted in, and then the pickup is in the back. So it's critical that this O-ring is in good shape, that you don't have any leak, because you want to make sure you can pump up oil into the engine and get some good oil pressure. There's one other thing I realized. The dipstick is calibrated for, I guess, the 6-quart stock pan, and I'll have to calibrate this one. Probably put in the 7 quarts, run it, and then look at the dipstick on level grand, and then mark where full really is. I think, so on this dipstick, there are a few marks. And so we'll have to figure out where full really will be with the new pan. So there are a couple things that are slightly different. The stock does not have baffles in the well, but it does have reinforcement in the back where the bell housing goes. The new 7-quart shallow pan does have these baffles in here. These little flap doors. So there's 4 of them. I mean, it looks like it's well made. Now, the pickup tubes, there's a difference here, which taking the stock one back off, it has just one attachment point where it hooks in with a pump and O-ring. It has another mounting bracket and the main mounting bracket. On the new pickup tube from Speedway, it has just this, this mounting bracket, and then at the tube. I wish it had this intermediate bracket, because that adds a lot of stiffness, and I think it would probably cut down on vibration. I don't know if that's going to be critical. I'm sure this aftermarket one is fine, but it would certainly be nice to have that beefed up. I'm not going to do anything more. I'm not going to weld on a piece because I don't want to mess anything else up. So I'm going to put this on. So that's what we have. I guess when I do get the new pan on, I'm going to have to put some kind of dust plate back on the bell housing. And I don't know if they're available, aftermarket available or not, but If there's not, I'll probably fabricate something. It's just a piece of sheet metal with mounting holes. I don't know how many there are. There's really just 2 that I can tell, unless I tie it in with oil pan, but I don't think so. It's either going to be just those 2. Let me go with this other side, and we can take a look. The starter's kind of in the way, but it looks like there's just two holes for mounting. So that's what it will be. All right, let me get this pickup tube attached. I'll see how that lines up, and I'll show you before we put on the pan. The oil pickup tube is on, and you can see the difference in the amount of room from the bottom, the bottom of the pan, and where the end of the dipstick is. So that's definitely going to have to be recalibrated. I'll put a mark, I don't know, some kind of paint on at the point where it's full, or maybe drill a small hole or scrape in with a metal file where the full level is. But all right, so we have the pickup tube on. It fits okay. It's pretty secure even without that other mounting bracket, but it sure be nice to have that. And so let's get the pan on. The gasket stayed in place, and I think we're going to be okay there. It's a rubberized gasket, so I'll take a look. It's not peeled away. It's all intact. So we're going to go ahead and put that pan on and call it done. Well, we got the oil pan on and all the bolts that mount except 2. And these 2 are long, like 7-inch bolts that go in the back of the stock oil pan, and they go up, and they're just smaller than the 10mm bolts that are normally on the oil pan mounts. And I wanted to measure these, and okay, there it is. This battery is loose. Okay, these measure at the thread. Well, anyway, I measured it earlier, and they were 5.5mm at the thread. So I'm going to go to the parts store, hardware store, Tractor Supply, to see if I can find a bolt, not this long, but one that's, I don't know, an inch and 1/4, so that I can finish mounting the last 2 bolts around the perimeter of the oil pan. Everything else matches up great. It looks fine. I think the clearance at the front edge of the sump, that should clear my cross member. And so I think we're going to be okay. So let me go try to find these 2 bolts and finish this job up. But in the meantime, I think that'll wrap it up for this quick little video. I just want to show you what I was doing with this oil pan and straightening out the low oil pan clearance to the ground. It's dangerously low if I would have kept the original stock oil pan on there. But this one should be flush with a cross member. So if I hit anything that's high, it'll hit the cross member for sure. And hopefully not hit the bottom of this oil pan. But I think it's good quality. It's a difference in, I think, 6 quarts, or this will take 7 quarts. The original, I think, was 6, but I'm not certain. I'll have to just double check the specs. It is an LQ9, so it came out of a 2004 Cadillac Escalade. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate your support. If you could, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. It helps me out a lot. We're approaching, I think we're right around 670 subscribers, and I'd like to try to grow that up to 700, maybe by the end of June. It would be nice, or to even have more. So anyway, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.